Alright, boys, it is that time. ReZero, Season 2, Episode 2, Cut Content. It's time. What do you got for us, AniNews? I'm actually really hyped to see what cut content is this time. Brand new arc, brand new everything, alright? We're gonna see what the anime cut out, man. I'm fucking hyped. Let's go straight into it. I just finished Episode 2, so I'm literally fresh, alright? I'm very interested to see what the fuck got cut out.
Considering that Episode 2 marks the
Let's go.
beginning of a brand new arc, it makes sense that this episode would be a lot more tame compared to the last. There was a lot of exposition that needed to be done in order to introduce the new setting and characters.
Right.
I mean, up until now, we've never even heard of this place called Sanctuary.
Literally. Thank you. Okay, so I was confused in the original reaction. Okay, it makes sense. Alright. Okay, this is the first time we ever hear of Sanctuary, so I didn't miss that out. Okay, it's just the first time it was mentioned, at least in the anime.
Made aware that Roswaal had taken half of the villagers there. So there were quite a few gaps that needed to be filled in with this episode.
Yeah.
More than anything, though, the main focus was the mystery revolving around Roswaal's actions.
Literally.
Something that the novel delves into a bit more deeply, which we'll explore in this cut content episode.
Thank you. Oh my god, AniNews, you're so goated, twin. Thank you. This whole Roswaal mystery shit. Okay? This whole Roswaal mystery shit is so weird to me. This motherfucker is such a mystery. There's so much to this guy. And if it got cut out, I'm gonna let AniNews talk, man.
So, as always, be sure to leave a like or comment if you enjoy this ReZero content.
Let's get it, man.
It really goes towards helping the video perform better.
Alright, bro.
Let's begin. Episode 27.
Let's go.
The Next Place. Covering chapters 1 and 2 of Volume 10 of the light novel.
Mm-hmm.
There were quite a few reasons leading towards Crusch and Subaru going their separate ways.
Okay.
We know that Subaru and Emilia had to return to the mansion, but Crusch also had a few things to take care of herself. And that was the pressing issue of Anastasia's faction. If Crusch wasn't careful with her next actions, then Anastasia could very well steal all the credit for defeating both the White Whale and Sloth.
True. That's also a problem. Since Crusch lost all her memories, that's gonna be a problem to, like, really, I guess, like... Because, like, we saw that beautiful moment, right? The respect. The fact that Crusch was gonna give Subaru credit and a lot of, you know... Yeah, just credit. Right? After the White Whale fight, she was like, hey, I acknowledge that you're the hero. You're the reason this all happened, right? I don't know if that's like a detail that's going to be important, the fact that she forgot that happened, but yeah, not just that. A lot of stuff that Crusch probably had on her mind is now gone, right? Especially if it had to do with the royal selection and her win. So now, any wrong move in Anastasia might just steal the fuck you win and just might exploit that. She might just, like, play it smart in a way, because it's like, okay, so one of the best, if not the best candidate, got cooked. All right, now I'm just gonna pretty much take advantage of that, and I'm gonna win. So I mean, it's not ridiculous, you know.
Ideally, the whole endeavor would be treated as a successful joint operation from each of the 3 participating candidates.
Yeah.
But it was very clear that Anastasia was the one that came out on top. Her faction still had both their candidate and knight completely intact.
True.
A statement that couldn't be said for Crusch's or Emilia's side. So, very close watch needed to be kept on Anastasia. The only advantage these two had over her was the secrecy of their current alliance. Anyway, after about 3 days, Subaru didn't want to keep the villagers away from their home any longer. You see, during the commotion of the evacuation, many villagers had been separated from their families as half of them were taken to a different area. So, it was before they were about to leave that Wilhelm came out to give his regards. That's when the topic of his incurable wound came up yet again. In case you didn't watch episode 1, Wilhelm carries a permanent wound that can't be healed since it was inflicted by a blade that carries the blessing of the Grim Reaper. A wound that was given to him by none other than the previous sword saint, his former wife. The thing is, up until the fight with the witches cult, the wound remained in a rather closed state. Only after his encounter with them did it open up as if it was fresh. This was something that was only possible if he was in close proximity to the person who gave him the wound. So it was a very significant mystery involving his supposedly dead wife that Wilhelm was now unsettled by.
Yeah, that is honestly so understandable. That's so unsettling. Though your wife, the person you loved, is supposedly dead. The person you loved gave you that wound, that incurable wound, and it only opens up if you're near the person that gave it to you. And you're telling me that supposed dead person is, like, near you? Because, like, it opened up like as if it's fresh. That's so unsettling. Like, can you blame Will for reacting like that? Like, that's weird.
Perhaps the White Whale may not have been responsible for Tunisia's death at all. perhaps something a bit more sinister happened.
Oh.
Whatever the answer was, the only person who could possibly give it to him was going to be Gluttony, a foe he was sure to encounter once again if they truly intended to fix both Crusch and Rem. Now, during Subaru's conversation with Felix, there was a brief moment where Felix showed his true emotions. It was a side to him that Subaru had never seen before.
Oh no.
One that was different from the unconcealable grief that Felix could be seen harboring for the past few days. While Subaru was trying to genuinely thank Felix for all his help, the two began to go back and forth with their usual friendly banter. But it was towards the end that Felix took a more serious tone. He lowered his head, then spoke in a very ominous voice that he was going to protect Crusch no matter what. They were words declared in such a way that Subaru didn't even realize that it was Felix who was talking. Though it only lasted for a brief moment, that was really all it took for Subaru to clearly understand Felix's resolve.
Interesting.
After this, it wasn't just Crusch who gave parting words at the end. Emilia had a few things to say herself which carried a bit of significance. With a strong sense of sincerity, she declared that whatever the results of Subaru's actions may be, she would face them head on.
Okay.
It was proof of her finally accepting Subaru to be by her side.
Damn, that's awesome. That got cut out, right? Huh.
If you were to now call Subaru something akin to her knight, well, that wouldn't be so much of a wrong statement anymore. Emilia then
crazy.
turned directly to Crusch and lost what was just her resolute composure. She was much more anxious as she knew that Crusch would one day become someone she would have to compete against. Even so, the alliance they'd built was something that she was happy with. So she wanted to make sure that Crusch was okay with her being a half-elf. Remember, Emilia isn't used to receiving this type of positive treatment from other people. She's not so confident in herself as a person to believe that others think highly of her.
Yeah, we've seen this in we've seen this, bro. We've just seen this before. Like, the whole half-elf thing is it's still something that bothers her to this day. Because people just treat her like trash because she's a half-elf, because she looks like the witch. Which again, it's not a coincidence. I at this point in time in the series, I really refuse it's a coincidence. She has something, a very big role with the witch. I don't know what the fuck it is, but yeah, motherfucker, yeah, that affects her, bro. Her self-confidence, her self-esteem is just gonna be affected because of all that, yeah.
That's why she wanted to make sure that Crusch wasn't forcing herself. The desperate look that Emilia had on her face while she asked made Subaru want to intervene. But for some reason he knew that Crusch would know exactly what to say. She responded with a line that he'd heard from her once before. A pretentious set of words that only someone like Crusch could speak as her own.
What?
She said, "The worth of a soul is determined by the worth of a person's actions. We should all live in a way that brings no shame to our souls." Because Emilia then said that she was living her life in a way that she didn't believe to be shameful, Crusch felt that there was nothing for her to fear or regret.
Wow.
So long as she continued to walk a path that she could call her own, then Crusch was happy to be allied with her. So as Subaru watched these two formally accept each other, he finally felt like he had gained something tangible from all his efforts. Sure, it may not have been the optimal outcome, but it was definitely the best he could get given the circumstances.
That's good.
And he wasn't going to use Rem as an excuse to ruin this moment. That wouldn't be what she wanted. Instead, he accepted Rem and Crusch's conditions as direct results of his actions, and he promised that he'd find a way to make things right again. This was such an embarrassing proclamation that Subaru couldn't even fully shake Crusch's hand afterwards. Instead, he simply tapped her palm.
That's why he tapped the fucking palm. Bro, that Emilia and fucking Crusch, that entire fucking moment, that was beautiful. You're telling me that entire shit just got cut out? Bro, even the manga did it, bro. People mentioned that the manga also did some very good things with the entire, like, season 2 part, right? Like, apparently the manga adapted it very well. Yo! Like, look at this. It felt like it had more meaning in the original content, bro. That shit was cut from the anime? No wonder. That's why I was so confused. Like, I know it was... Okay, I know some of it was shown, right? Like, we saw Emilia say some things, like, to Crusch and stuff, but it didn't have the same, like, weight. Like, it didn't really feel as freaking AniNews is talking here, bro. Damn. I was like, why did bro just tap her hand? Yep, that makes sense now.
And he promised that he'd find a way to make things right again.
Yeah.
This was such an embarrassing proclamation that Subaru couldn't even fully shake Crusch's hand afterwards.
There we go.
Instead, he simply tapped her palm.
Here we go.
Moving on to the scene in the carriage, there was a couple additional topics of conversation worth mentioning.
Okay.
One of which was Roswaal. Not only was he someone worth talking to about Rem's condition, but he also had quite a bit of explaining to do. There were two key things that Subaru wanted to know. The first of which was why he chose to back Emilia for the royal selection.
Good point. Good point, Subaru. Subaru is literally the... You know what I love about Subaru, bro? This motherfucker's literally the people watching the anime, bro. Asking the right questions, man.
And the second was why he didn't come to help when the witch cult attacked.
I've been preaching this for like the past like fucking... How many fucking episodes, dude? Dude. The witch cult is attacking. The witch cult is out here fucking killing people. There's so much going on. The strongest mage in Lugunica, who is supposed to be backing up Emilia, is nowhere to be seen. Hell no. This motherfucker is sus, man.
Subaru found it strange that someone with as much power as Roswaal was nowhere to be seen when his
Literally?
own domain was under siege.
Thank you.
It was a valid question considering how much he had at stake. But the answer to it was something that could only be found back at the mansion. Until then, Emilia wanted Subaru to tell her more about Rem. At first, the mere suggestion caused Subaru's chest to throb in pain. Not because it wasn't something he wanted to do, but instead because he wasn't sure if he could truly find the right words to say. How could he properly portray the girl who saved him in a way that would do her justice?
Literally.
He eventually figured that the best way would be to just start at the beginning. So, Subaru spent the rest of the trip talking about the precious memories he made with Rem for the past 2 months.
Oh, what?
That's how long it had been since Subaru was summoned to this world.
Wait. Run that by me again, Mr. AniNews?
Talking about the precious memories he made with Rem for the past 2 months.
2 months? Wait. It's been 2 months? Why the fuck does this shit feel like it's been a year, bro? This shit... All of this is 2 months. What the fuck? Yo, so much can happen in 2 months. Oh my god. Also, this entire shit got cut out. This beautiful moment. I mean, okay, again, when I'm saying it like that, I'm not acting like they're supposed to adapt everything, because obviously it's kind of impossible. Time, money, the amount of episodes, like there's a lot going on, right? Also, this is made during COVID, like the season 2, right? So there was a lot of issues too. I'm not acting like a spoiled brat, all right? I'm not acting ungrateful, all right? When I say, yo, this was cut out, it's because it's generally shocking, right? These scenes are good, all right? So he pretty much mentioned every single memory, or like every, like at least like every important one to Emilia about Rem. Hey man, that's amazing, bro. That's beautiful.
That's how long it had been since Subaru was summoned to this world.
That's crazy.
As Subaru spoke of his day-to-day life with Rem, before he could even finish everything he wanted to say, half a day had already passed and they'd now arrived at the village.
So that's what actually happened, huh?
But the other half of the villagers were nowhere to be found. It was yet another odd situation that was potentially attributed to one of Roswaal's decisions.
Yep.
There was no way that he wasn't yet aware of the village being safe again. Even if Sanctuary was 7 or 8 hours away by horse, Roswaal could easily just fly and do some recon over the area.
Literally.
Not to mention that Ram could have also just used her clairvoyance ability. So, the fact that they'd been gone for more than 3 days now was something that just didn't seem right. There had to be a specific reason why Roswaal chose to stay at Sanctuary. Perhaps something had happened to them while they were there. In any case, Subaru figured that if answers were to be found, then the best place to do that would be at the mansion. It was here that we met the new maid Frederica Baumann. A demi-human girl who looked no more than 20 years old, but carried herself as perfectly as a maid could.
Okay.
Now, there was a cut scene between just her and Subaru right before he went to go talk to Beatrice.
Really?
You see, Subaru wanted to let Rem rest in her own room. So, while he was carrying her there, Frederica decided to accompany him so that she could learn more about this sleeping girl. Subaru spoke to her just like how he'd spoken to Emilia while in the carriage. Except, this time he let many more of his deeper thoughts make its way to the surface. One of which was a crucial realization that there actually could have been a better outcome. Unlike what Subaru had thought before, a subtle clue to Rem's fate had been right in front of him the entire time.
Yeah.
He just wasn't able to see it fast enough. If he did, then he might have been able to save Rem before the next checkpoint.
Oh my god, bro, this letter shit, right? This shit was shown in, like, before they left, right? Wait, is this the same letter? Like, okay, before Emilia and Subaru left, right, when Petra and Frederica were, like, outside, she, like, pulled out this letter thing, dude. What?
Like what Subaru had thought before, a subtle clue to Rem's fate had been right in front of him the entire time.
Subtle clue.
He just wasn't able to see it fast enough. If he did, then he might have been able to save Rem before the next checkpoint. What he was referring to was the letter of goodwill that Crusch's envoy brought to Emilia.
There it is.
If you remember from Season 1,
yeah.
Subaru's initial assumption with the letter was that the witch's cult swapped it out for a blank one.
Okay, it's okay. So yeah, that is the letter we're talking about. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that I understand. Okay. That fuck-ass blank letter. Was it really blank? Someone mentioned in the first episode, the comment section, bro. The blank letter. Remember that. You know who you are, bro. You said the blank letter. Remember that. Like, you're sus too, bro. You're sus.
Thus causing Ram to assume that Crusch was going to take action against Emilia. But that wasn't the case at all.
Yeah.
Subaru only realized after that it wasn't the witch cult's style to resort to sly tactics like sleight of hand.
Exactly.
They were more for that direct and upfront violence. So, if that was the case, then where did this blank letter come from?
Huh.
Well, Rem was the one who wrote the letter.
Right. No. I think someone mentioned in the comments. Rem wrote it? Right. I think someone mentioned that. She's the one who wrote it.
By the time that letter would have been received by Ram, her existence would have already been erased from the world. It didn't make the physical letter itself disappear, though. Instead, it just erased the contents.
No wonder. Okay. Literally, so... What, did she like predict her own death? Or not death, oh my god. Disappearance? Did she try to like write her shit down before, just in case anything happened to her? But even then, the fucking letter got erased, so it didn't really matter. What?
That's why the letter was blank. Her words had been—
So that's why the letter was blank. Bro, what the fuck, dude?
been erased along with everything else related to her memory. If Subaru had come to this conclusion earlier, then he could have used this information to realize that something went wrong.
Oh my god.
In the end, he regretted not being smart enough to notice what was now such a glaringly obvious issue, and that only added to his personal feelings of guilt. When the two finally arrived at Rem's room, the place looked completely tidied as if it was no different from a guest room. It was just as clean and empty as the time that Rem had her existence stolen by the White Whale.
This is some episode 17 shit, dude, right? Episode 17, the exact same shit happened. All the memories, everything that has to be related to Rem's existence, gone, reduced to atoms.
As Subaru rested her in her bed, Frederica offered to be the one to take care of her. But Subaru insisted that it had to be him. Sure, it may have been a selfish request, but it did make Frederica realize that behind Subaru's murderous gaze there was a kind-hearted soul.
Murderous gaze? Really, Frederica, what? Are we dead ass? Come on, man.
It's true that his eyes were showing a small glint of hatred.
Oh.
But the comment was made more so with the intent of getting back at Subaru for his outburst with her teeth.
Ah, okay.
That way
That
the
makes
two
sense.
were now equal. In any case, Frederica would eventually have to take care of Rem, but really all she had to do was check up on her from time to time.
Okay.
Considering that Rem wasn't going to hunger or age, not much was needed to be done in terms of care.
That's crazy.
All Subaru could really ask for was for her to give Rem as much attention as she could offer. It's after this that we gain a bit more context behind who Frederica was before Subaru came to this world. The main reason she was given leave from her previous maid duties was because of Emilia's participation in the royal selection.
Okay.
As someone who had been working for Roswaal for 10 plus years,
Damn!
Frederica's job was to tidy up all of Roswaal's personal affairs before the royal selection was to start. You see, Roswaal knew that Emilia being a candidate was an open invitation to all sorts of trouble. So, because Frederica was one of the senior staff members, he put her in charge of sending off all the other servants. It was after that job was done that she too was also sent away, leaving only Rem and Ram as the last two servants.
Oh, there we go. Huh. Well, thank you, Mr. AniNews.
This was the level of preparation that Roswaal was known for. But now that just didn't seem to be the case. How could he put so much effort into the events preceding the selection yet not do anything now?
Again, exactly. You put all this effort into the selection, but then where is bro now? Where is bro now?
It made Subaru remember all the times that the witch cult had successfully invaded the mansion and
Exactly.
slaughtered everyone. He couldn't help but question why someone as seemingly careful as Roswaal would allow that sort of thing to happen. That's why Subaru felt the need to understand what Roswaal was thinking.
Dude, literally, what I've been preaching. What? Episode 15. In Subaru's worst moment. Roswaal, where are you at? Roswaal, where are you? You're the strongest Major Lugunica. You fraud. Protect your damn people, man. Fuck.
It brings us now to the scene with Beatrice. Just like everyone else, she wasn't given any instruction by Roswaal during the recent events.
Okay.
The only judgment she could make was that she was left behind because Roswaal was certain she could protect herself.
Right.
It's not like Roswaal didn't give it any thought, it's just that not much was needed to be given. Now, even if that was the case, the way that he handled the entire situation still seemed off.
Right.
So, to try and get a few more answers, Subaru brought out the Gospel. This was the book that formerly belonged to the Archbishop of Sloth.
Yep.
A being that wasn't quite a person, but instead an evil spirit that took control of other people's bodies. It was also the first person that Subaru had personally slain.
Crazy.
The act of taking a person's life was yet another burden that Subaru had to shoulder. To say that he didn't hesitate in the moment or that he didn't have any regrets would be nothing more than just a lie. The fact that he killed and was killed by Betelgeuse was something that he would forever remember and be affected by.
Of course.
Now, the rest of their conversation pretty much went as we saw. Beatrice paved the path that Subaru needed to follow in order to find his answers and nothing more.
Okay.
When Subaru went back to Emilia, he was shocked to find out that she had already confronted Frederica about the path to Sanctuary. Because this was a place she knew she had to go to, Emilia turned to Subaru to ask a favor. Considering what happened the last time she did this, Subaru didn't even let her finish asking before he started spewing out all the reasons why he should be allowed to go with her to Sanctuary.
Oh.
You see, he thought Emilia was going to ask him to stay behind just like last time, but what she really wanted to ask was for him to go with her. Emilia wanted to be able to rely on Subaru and his strength. She wanted him to be by her side, because without him, she said that she would be too worried to go to Sanctuary on her own.
The fucking difference. From episode 12, was it? Episode 12? Don't come with me. I think it's better if you don't. To literally the opposite. Please come with me. I need you by my side. What a fucking difference.
They were sincere words that Subaru couldn't help but find himself speechless by.
Literally, bro.
So, with the two now set on going to Sanctuary, Frederica then asked if Roswaal had told either of them about the type of place it was.
Guess not.
Of course, Subaru knew nothing about it. But Emilia remembered being told that it was a place that would someday be necessary for her. An ominous statement that even now she couldn't fully understand. Frederica then went on to tell the two all that she possibly could about Sanctuary. One of the things she mentioned was why she needed 2 days to prepare for their journey. Supposedly the barrier that keeps outside presences away takes 2 days to nullify.
Oh, that's why. That's why I was like, I remember the reaction. I was like, bro, why 2 days? That's so, like, what? So it just takes 2 days to nullify, okay.
At first it was a strange concept to grasp, but the more context Frederica gave, the more sense it made.
Okay.
You see, Sanctuary has long been a place that's deeply rooted with demi-human history.
Right.
Back when the conflict between demi-humans and humans was at its peak, Sanctuary could be seen as a sort of safe haven for demi-humans. Or at least that's the way that Frederica was portraying it. Something about the way that she spoke of the barrier still felt weird, though. In any case, what she was saying about the demi-humans seemed to be what made the most sense. I mean, it was quite common to find residents of Lagunica that weren't too fond of demi-humans at all. It was a feeling of scorn that Subaru found to be an extension of the same hate they carried towards half-elves. All this talk of demi-humans then reminded Subaru of a bard he met that goes by the name of Liliana. While on one of her journeys, she had stopped by the Roswaal mansion to sing a tale of the demi-human civil war.
What? Who the fuck is Liliana, bro? What? Lore?
A song that went by the name of the Ballad of the Sword Devil. Up until now, he hadn't even realized that this was a song wholly dedicated to Wilhelm's accomplishments. But now he knew that it could very well have been the reason that Wilhelm gained the Sword Devil nickname in the first place.
Interesting.
Anyway, Subaru would then spend the next couple of days trying to search for Beatrice. He didn't want to let things stay the way that they were. But when Beatrice really wants to hide, well, there isn't much that Subaru can do to find her. That's why Subaru put Petra in charge of taking care of Beatrice. As unlikely as it was for them to meet, it did help knowing that someone in the mansion would be there for her if she ever needed it.
That's awesome, man. Yo, Petra MVP, bro. Yo, W fucking Petra, man.
Perhaps she could actually befriend her since they looked to be the same age.
That's so fucked. Come on, bro. Oh my god, bro. Betty's like so, bro. Isn't she like hundreds of years old, bro? Like 400? How old is she, right? Something like that.
With everything now said and done, all that was left was for Frederica to give Emilia the crystal. Part of the 2 days of preparation was focused towards this item in particular. The odd thing about it was that Frederica never left the mansion to obtain it. It made Subaru wonder where she managed to find such an item without even having to go outside.
You know, when you really put it like that, yeah, where the fuck did she get this shit from? She just spawned it in. She just spawned that shit in.
Wherever it was from, the 2 days weren't just spent on this alone. The crystal was merely something related to it. Now, the last thing that Frederica would say before sending them off was to once again be wary of Garfield.
Yeah,
Ever
Garfield.
since she had first mentioned his name.
Yeah, they're hyping up and talk about Garfield like he's the final boss, bro. Like a villain, bro. He's a problem, bro. Apparently he got aura.
Subaru had been struggling to deal with 2 conflicting mindsets. This wasn't the first time that he's heard the name Garfield. Right before the evacuation of the villagers, Ram had spoken of a Garfield as if it was someone that she could trust.
Did she? Did Ram actually say this in the anime or is this cut content? I'm gonna go ahead and guess that maybe she actually said it in the anime and I literally forgot. Hey man, can't remember everything. But if she did, that's crazy. What?
But with Frederica now passing on these numerous warnings about him, Subaru wasn't so sure what to think anymore. He wished that Frederica could have told them more, but unfortunately she had made a vow not to. To Subaru, vows and promises were just elegant wordplay.
Yeah.
But to almost everyone else in this fantasy world, vows were a holy pledge that should never be violated.
Really? A holy pledge that should never be violated? A vow? Well, now I know that.
Emilia herself personally felt that any kind of pact, covenant, or oath should be upheld with the utmost respect.
Okay.
To her, promises of any kind were very important.
That actually makes sense why she was even more angry with episode 13 and Subaru breaking his promise. The fact that Subaru broke his promise was a big fucking deal. Especially to her. Okay. Because listen, I knew, because obviously I knew she was angry the fact that Subaru just, broke her promise, right? Mistrust, she was like, wow, you really broke our promise? And honestly, I understood it. I didn't really need the context. But the fact that AniNews here is giving more context on why she was even angrier, because it honestly makes even more sense. Yeah? The whole oath thing, the whole vow thing is so important to her that if you break the promise, it's like a big deal. Okay.
They were practically the equivalent of tying 2 people together through a bond of mutual trust.
Oh my god, that is so fucking crazy. Okay, I can see why she was mad. Oh my god.
Even if no one was around to hold you accountable to your promises, she felt that it was still right to uphold them since the other party believes that you will do so.
Oh.
When Subaru heard Emilia speak these words with such conviction, he felt the need to apologize for when he broke his own promises with her. So, as he prostrated himself on the floor of the carriage, Emilia explained that it was a mindset that stems from her experience as a spirit mage. It's only natural that she treats something like pacts and promises with such importance, since the very foundation of her relationships with the spirits are built on them.
Exactly. The little foundation of that. The whole spirit thing, the whole contracts thing. Yeah, it makes sense. That's crazy. This man Subaru apologized. That's actually a big moment. Him apologizing and all that. Damn, dude.
Don't get me wrong though. She wasn't mad at Subaru for treating these things lightly. She simply felt that it was something that he needed to reflect on a little bit more.
That's okay. Okay, yeah, fair.
Anyway, the 2 would eventually reach the Lost Woods where the whole situation with the crystal would occur. Subaru likened the phenomenon he'd experienced to something similar to Beatrice's passage skill.
Okay.
He'd been exposed to passage more than enough times to know what it was like to be teleported. Assuming the crystal didn't have nearly as much power as Beatrice did, he figured that he wasn't too far from where Emilia and Otto were. I mean, the farthest Beatrice had ever been able to teleport him was to the village.
Yeah.
So perhaps if he found a clearing somewhere, then he could spot where the carriage was. But before he could choose a direction, that's when he spotted the doll-like elf. This was the only way that Subaru could describe her. Everything about her just seemed so emotionless.
Emotionless? Oh, hell no.
She didn't even seem to have enough willpower to be considered an actual person.
Oh no.
Regardless, she was the only lead that Subaru had. So, after following then losing track of her, Subaru eventually figured that Emilia was the one who was supposed to be teleported.
I said it. I fucking said it. What did I say? I said, yo, something tells me Subaru was not supposed to be the one to teleport here. Hell no. No way in hell. It was supposed to be Emilia. That's horrible. That's bad. Oh god, we're so cooked.
If that was in fact the case, then he decided the best course of action would be to play along with whatever was going on.
Yeah.
A decision that would lead him down a path into the ruins and finally to his fateful encounter with Echidna.
Echidna.
Bringing us to the end of episode 2 and to the end of this cut content.
Ah.
So clearly this episode wasn't as eventful as the last one. But a much larger story is being built here.
No, story build. They're building up to something crazy, bro. I'm fucking hyped. Yo, I'm so disappointed the content's over. Like, this is the end of it, bro. Ah, this series is too good, bro. There's too much. There's too much I want to know, man. Fuck.
And hopefully this video allowed you to enjoy it a little bit more.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for today.
Yo, AniNews, bro. This man is out here saving lives, bro. And not only that, you guys too, bro. Because even if I'm reacting to that cut content, it doesn't mean that I understand fully the cut content. Y'all, you know what I mean? So, any misconceptions, y'all got my back, bro. Thank you guys so much, bro. Y'all goated for helping me out. I got AniNews backing me up here. I got y'all backing me up. I fucking love this series. Everything is going very well right now. I'm trying to understand this show as much as possible, man. I fucking love it. Well, that is another episode of cut content, man. As soon as bro said, yo, that's it for today's episode, I got a little sad. Guess we'll have to watch episode 3 and the cut content for episode 3. I am looking forward to these cut content shits after the episodes, man. This is hype. This is making me enjoy the show way more, dude. This is awesome, bro. Alright, that is gonna be it for today's cut content, season 2, episode 2. Thank you, AniNews, once again. Shout out to you, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. See you guys.